So there's a lot of people out there that talk about winning the money game. And right now, I think it's more of a war than an actual game. Like, this games are supposed to be fun and exciting and you have a chance of winning. It seems like right now, war is usually where you feel attacked, you feel bombarded, you feel like overwhelmed. And it's pretty much a war right now. Do you feel the same way? If you do, make sure you watch this end of this video. I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I think are analogies to some things about how we can defend ourselves against the onslaught that's coming and the onslaught that's happening even right now. So let's get into it. You know, one of the things that I like to do is read, and I love reading. History is one of the things I like to read. And I was reading recently about two civilizations lived hundreds of years ago, maybe even thousands. And these two civilizations lived next to each other. One civilization was peaceable. They wanted to be productive, industrious. They kind of wanted to do their own thing, basically have the freedoms to believe what they wanted to believe and be free and have, grow farms and just have families and livestock and just live. And this is, again, a civilization that was hundreds of years ago. And another civilization nearby actually was more of they were lazy, they were idolatrous. They just basically were like, you know what, we're going to go take over those other guys and we're just going to take what they have. We're going to let them farm all the stuff and then we're just going to go in there and we're going to raid them and rape and pillage and just take everything that they have. And over the centuries, over the years or decades, this civilization would constantly come in and do this, raid this other civilization, and they got sick and tired of it to the point where they're like, you know what, we're gonna have to make our own weapons and we're gonna have to make some armor and fortify our cities and villages, because this group would come in. I mean, here you are living your best life, farming, wanting your freedoms, religion, freedom to believe what you want, do what you want, have what you want, property, everything else. Like, you're just living your best life, and then all of a sudden this other civilization comes in with a huge army, trods down all your farms, ruins your property, rapes and pillages your friends and family, your own people that you know and love, and then they go off and they try to rule over you and do a bunch of stuff. How many of you want to just be left alone? How many of you want to just live your life, live your best life, and then have freedoms, have financial freedoms, be able to travel, be able to believe what you want to believe and do what you want to do and live the way you want to live, without having to have somebody tyrannically trying to always come at you or usurp over you or be over you or do something like that. So one of the things I kind of thought about as I was reading this about these two civilizations was how does this relate to what's going on in the economy right now? In wars, hot wars, right before a hot war, which is basically kinetic, where you're actually shooting bullets and having guns and ammo and soldiers and all that. Right before that, usually what's called a Cold War, where it's basically an economic war, where it's sanctions. And usually this happens between countries. But within those countries, you start to see some things happen and go on because they're basically preparing to, have a bigger situation. So in our own country right now, there's a lot of things happening whether those attacks and assaults are inflation. A lot of times it's advertisers bombarding our social media feeds with all of their desires to have us buy their stuff. And one of the things that we get constantly bombarded with is bills, credit card bills, medical bills, car loans, insurance bills, like all kinds of bills. Like what are you getting bombarded with right now? Put a comment below. What are some of the things that you feel like is an attack on you and your family financially? Maybe a war zone that you're feeling like you're in right now. What are some things that you're thinking? And while you're doing that, hit the like and subscribe button on the way out. One of the best ways to win the financial war is to hit like and subscribe. So what I decided to do was, as I was reading about these civilizations, was have a thought on how does this analogously relate to financial services? So what are some of the weapons, as we're getting attacked by our bills, by our, the keeping up with the Joneses, advertisements, all the different things that are coming at us, and social credit cards, debt. I mean, just everything you can think of. Invest in this, invest in that. You do, and you lose your money, and you're like, what investments are out there that are legit and real and legitimate? So it's just constant attack, or it seems like assault on our finances and our goals to be financially free. If you have a goal to be financially free and independent, hit the like and subscribe button, because that's absolutely what all of us should have as a goal to do that. Now, what is the plan to get there? And part of that plan should be realizing that life is going to throw all kinds of curveballs at us. And life is going to come at us with basically what feel like attacks, whether it's You're driving down the road, minding your own business, doing your best thing, and some idiot comes swiping across the lanes and hits you, and next thing you know, you're flipping and you're in the hospital, and now you got all these medical bills. Like that, whose fault was that, right? That you didn't deserve that. These are all the types of things I'm talking about, different potential attacks on our life and our financial future and our goals and dreams. So one of the things I thought about these two civilizations, as they started to defend themselves against this other civilization, they decided to start making weapons. They decided to start making armor. And they decided, one guy actually, after several years, was like, look, I'm tired of this. We need to actually put walls around some of our cities and villages. And so they were building all kinds of defenses. They were proactively getting themselves ready and prepared. They're like, if these guys are going to attack us anyways, if they're going to keep coming after us and keep coming at us anyways, let's get ready for them. Let's be ready for them. And I thought that's relatable to what we're doing in the economy right now, financially right now. I mean, inflation feels like an attack. You go to the grocery store today and you pick up a piece of food that is 20 or 30% more expensive than it was last year. I mean, we're seeing huge things happen. Their rent is increasing. They don't know where to live. They can't afford living where they're living anymore because their rent is increasing. How many of you have had in the last 6 months to a year, you had to renew your car insurance or your health insurance or something where it was much higher than what you thought or what you were planning for? So these are all things that I think are important for us to realize, like, wait a minute, we need to plan for this. We need to have some weapons, we need to have some armor, and we need to have some fortifications. And that's kind of the analogy that I drew from this particular history lesson I was reading about these two civilizations. And so what are some of the weapons that we can have? One, I think, is our mindset. Our mindset. Our discipline is another one. Our skill set, the ability to make more money, that's a great weapon. You know, they say that the best defense is often a very good offense. And I believe that's true. Like if you feel like you're not making enough money, like your boss is kind of putting you down, or you just feel like there's something going on with your 9-to-5 where it's a little bit unstable, and you might be losing your job soon, it's time to maybe go get a side hustle. You have skills, you have some value you can bring to the marketplace to go make more money. And as you make more money, you can use that to fund your armor, which would be things like insurance. You can, sometimes people have to fight with their insurance because their insurance is not going to pay a certain thing or this or the other. I'm in that situation personally right now. I have a few medical bills that are coming out that I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this was covered. What's going on? And so I'm in a war kind of right now with my insurance carrier. So there's some things that are real, that like insurance, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, those are all protections, or they should be, against these catastrophic events or these attacks that we can have on our finances. Another great thing to fortify ourselves is to have a good, strong budget. Know what's coming in, know what's going out, understand and discipline our money so that then we can actually have the things that we need, like the insurances that we need, and more importantly, is to have a good, strong, solid savings accounts. I mean, if you have a huge bill come at you or a huge expense come at you, or you're laid off, do you have enough money that you're like, okay, it's fine. I have enough money set aside that I'm going to be okay for the next 3 months, 2 months, 6 months, maybe a year. What kind of money do you have set aside? Imagine the confidence, imagine the readiness, the peace that you'll have, knowing that no matter what happens, no matter who attacks you from whatever angle, you've got fortifications. You've got weapons, you've got skills, you can make more money, you've got armor, you've got insurance to protect you, you have savings, you have a good budget, you know what you're doing, and you have fortifications around your city, your village, where if anything happened, you've got some good savings and some good investment. You got money, you have reserves, you have enough to take care of the things that are going to happen. One thing that you have to always remember is that Murphy's Law will find you, and you've got to remember that. One of the things that I found out in life is that one of the constants is change. You've got to plan for when your plans don't go to plan, because there's going to come up times where you're going to be like going down one road and you're going to get sideswiped, and you're going to need to have resources to be able to handle those things. My hope is that as you listen to this video, you'll realize, yes, we're under attack, but you can fortify. You have weapons too. You have armor as well. There's ways that you can protect yourself. You can make more money. You can save more money. You can get the right kinds of insurance so that if a medical emergency or a car accident or a home slip and fall, You've got coverage. You're going to be okay. It's not going to ruin you financially. You've got savings to take care of those deductibles. You have savings to take care of those expenses that come up. You just got to make sure that you're financially fortifying your life against the onslaught of attacks that are happening and that could happen and can happen and are happening in the world right now. Hopefully you got a lot out of this video and that you find the value in the analogy that I shared with you today. If you missed the last video I produced, go ahead and find it here. Subscribe to the channel up here and check out this video that YouTube thinks you might like. Until the next video, make sure that you work towards becoming and maintaining your financial self-reliance.